What's going on, everybody? Alan from Chile, or Chile. What's going on? Josh, what's up? Nico, what's up? Ryan, what's going on? Eduardo, how's it going? Hello from the UK. Very cool. I have a boot camp there in June, so I'm excited to be back in London very soon. Mateos, what's going on? All right, let's give the other guys a chance to hop on. Let's wait like 2-3 minutes and then we'll get started. For now, you guys can feel free to send any questions that you have. I will be answering any questions on dating, pickup, relationships, anything you guys have that you need answered, any sticking points that are going on in your game that need to be addressed. And if you're lost and don't know where to go, you can ask questions here and I will answer them for you. I also have questions that other guys have been sending me all week looking for answers, and I'm sure that these questions will apply to more than just one guy, so we can answer them on here and should be a great session. What's going on, Gene? What's everyone doing for Valentine's Day? What's everybody's Valentine's Day plans for this year? Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have some plans. No plans. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a few girls in your life that you could call and say, tomorrow's Valentine's Day and I don't want to get caught up in the whole Valentine's Day thing, so me and a few friends are going to this location. You should come tag along, and then you make it a group outing. So it's not just an awkward one-on-one date on Valentine's Day with some girl that you just want to see, right? She's not your girlfriend. To do a Valentine's Day with a girl that's not your girlfriend seems a bit odd. It seems a bit forced. So that's a better idea, is to, you could say, hey, let's go to the wine bar and meet there. My friends are coming. Bring some friends. And then you make it a social gathering as opposed to a one-on-one date. It's more fun on Valentine's Day. Things can get very, very awkward quickly if you just squeeze a Valentine's date in for the sake of getting one in. What's going on, Josh? Get out of the house and approach. 12 sets. Yes, absolutely. 12 sets makes it a good night. 8 sets makes it worth putting on the clothes, 16 sets, you start to see some things and learn some things that 12 sets just won't show. It gets you out of the set and into looking at what you can observe more. To a stranger can be, not sure what you're asking there. Jaskarin. Not sure. All right, let's get rocking here. All right, so one of the questions that I got asked this week was Colgate. How can I effectively write material to get the hottest girls? Here is the thing that I have to say about writing your own material. If you're at a newbie level where you're just starting out, or if you haven't yet developed your sense of delivery, and by delivery I mean the way that you can impact your sets through how you're saying what you're saying, then don't give yourself more work in trying to write routines. First of all, most guys keep their routines very logical. It's not filled with the things that need to be filled within them so that girls can interpret that story in a positive way. A lot of guys like to logic load in their stories, they'll say 16 words when 4 would do. And these types of things are something that if you're not aware of and you're just trying to just wing your way in, or you're trying to write your own stories, you're just gonna do that without even being aware that you're doing it, and it's not gonna yield the best results. So my advice is, don't worry about writing your own stories for a good portion of this game. It's best to work on routines that have been tried and tested by a lot of pro guys out there. And we know it works, and that's why we teach the routines that we teach. And no matter how outdated they may seem, they work. And as long as you own them by delivery and exercise your right to impact people with the way that you're saying them, they'll work. So my advice would be to abandon the idea of writing your own and just grab a solid 5 to 8 routines that you have mastered through delivery, repetition, and you'll be at a lot better advantage for when that set really matters in being able to do what's needed to do in order for it to go a positive way. So that's my answer for that. Let's see here. Your advice has been an inspiration, man. Thank you. Damien, you're welcome. Glad to have a positive effect. Mario, what's going on, Mario? Hope all is well, brother. Alberto, hi. Sam, hi. Jesus, hi. Cody, hi. Appreciate you guys saying hi, taking the time to tune in. So if you have any questions, send them on through. I know that there's a few names already that I see that have been asking me questions along the way since the last live, which, by the way, haven't done in a while, just because the move to Vegas and just getting everything sorted out has been a bit challenging to fit everything in. Plus, I got a few things that we're working on and that I'm working on, so it's hard to balance everything out and still make the lives, but I'm committed to them. So today we're starting off, and I'm gonna be doing them every Wednesday. I took a poll, and you guys gave me a 50-50 split on either 6 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. So 9 p.m. Eastern makes more sense for everybody, especially for me, because I'm in Vegas. So I'm 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. So that makes more sense to me. So every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing the Colgate Lives. Feel free to tune in, get your questions answered. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Richard, what's going on? I have both Instagram and Facebook linked up. So if you guys see me switch on and off, that's exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, let's do this. Okay, question. Let's see here. Fastest confidence booster to get out of a slump. The fastest confidence booster to get out of a slump is having a set that goes really well. That's really the cold hard truth of that answer. If you have a set that goes really, really well and you can label that set a success, you're gonna feel a lot better about approaching the next set and just overall in your game. So the best way for you to get a legitimate confidence boost is to have a set go well. Now, you can just fake it till you make it and have a decision that you make on it where you say, you know what, tonight I'm just gonna behave in a way that personifies and conveys confidence. And the easiest way to do that on a practical sense is to slow everything down. If you slow down your movements, if you slow down the way that you're saying things, your reactions, you'll come off a lot more confident. It's just a natural way of doing it. Mystery is the master of that. That's why everything he says compels people to listen, and people want to listen more, is because his delivery is just so slow and hypnotic that people find themselves just gravitating and hanging on his words. So implement more of that in your game, and it'll solve a little bit more of the technical little nuances of confidence until you get a set that goes well, and then you actually feel legitimate confidence from that set going well. Also, a good way to do it is to get good at the material. See, if you're not actively practicing material. When I mean actively is not to just say, okay, I'm gonna go out on Friday and Saturday and practice the routines. I mean, day to day, are you practicing the material? When you go to the pharmacy to pick up, whatever it is that you're picking up, do you open the, 45-year-old woman that's behind the register just for the sake of getting the routine out? There's no results that you need from that interaction aside from you running the routine to build more momentum and to get the practice of running the routines. If you're not actively doing that day to day to really get the routines out and get all the little bullshit, subconscious shit that people pick up on because you're just not convinced yourself on it, then you're not going to do well when Friday night comes around and you haven't practiced the routines all week, and then it's okay, let's go out and try to go 0 to hero, and then the first 4 sets don't go well, and that messes up your confidence, and then you can't muster up enough courage to keep going because you fear that you're going to fail from not being able to get over that hump, when really you set up yourself for failure in the beginning of the week. See, every week I do a Colgate weekly mission. And if you follow that weekly mission, it is designed to help you build momentum for the Friday night. It starts off on Monday with very little compliance tests that you guys need to do in order to build a little bit more momentum. And then by the time Wednesday and Thursday come around, we start to really look at, what is needed for the weekend. Friday and Saturday night, there are 2 goals, and those goals usually mean that you have to put in a solid night worth of game in. So if you're not going through the effort of implementing this as a moment in your life where you're developing skills, and just like everything else, you can't just play piano on a Friday and Saturday and expect to get good in 6 months. Unless you're putting in 8 hours a day on piano and you're really thinking about, other songs, and it just becomes something that you've consumed, then you're just going to be treading lightly around what is possible here instead of actually submerging yourself into it all and totally saturating yourself with experience and trauma of going out and getting rejected and getting over things that need to get resolved in field, because that's where it all gets resolved. It gets resolved in field. You can practice all the routines you want, you can do all that stuff, but unless you're getting out in the world and opening sets and it's repetition, you're extending the pains that can come from being in the game by not fully committing to it. And the worst thing is, you'll look back and say, fuck, I knew that this was there for me to learn and get good, and I just didn't. And that's worse. So hopefully that answers that. And plus, you know what? Confidence, motivation, all these things, it's not something you can rely on to have good game, to be honest, because those things will periodically wane and kind of dissipate depending on what's going on and all these things. So you have to just be able to turn it on, and everything else will solve itself after that. I don't rely on confidence or motivation or anything like that to go out and open sets. I rely on fundamentals, a good structure, a game plan, and knowing that I've said these routines thousands of times and they've worked. And that's what allows me to then get the routine out again in such a good way. I know better than to not fully commit to the routine. Something to think about. I have a problem where when I meet a woman, they either put me in a pigeonhole of boyfriend. Eduardo, if it's long, never mind, here we go. They put me in the hole of boyfriend, friends with benefits, and they drop off and they don't speak to me again. There's no friendship available to be built. I want a female social circle. How do I create a female friendship group without them wanting or expecting more than dropping off? I'm finding it all or nothing at this moment. Well, let's consider one aspect of this. What type of girls are you trying to make into, or rather, what type of girls are you trying to include in your social circle? See, certain girls are more inclined to be okay with just being in a social circle, as opposed to certain girls are looking for their next boyfriend. So if you're approaching girls and you're not qualifying them and you're not getting to know what kind of person they are throughout it, when the time comes for you to try to position them on where you see fit in your life, you may have been setting a tone all along based on your behavior, based on what you're doing, based on what you've said, that is suggesting that you don't want to have a social circle, but that you want to be her boyfriend. So then you try to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna call a bunch of girls out tonight. And she's like, wait, why? I thought it was supposed to be just us two. When you could have just, as you met people along, if you have that in mind, to qualify them, get to know who they are, and then quickly see, okay, this girl here wants to have her next boyfriend. This girl here just wants to have some fun for the next few weeks. You can make better decisions as to who you invite out to your social gatherings. Just something to consider. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts playing with fire's new forums? Don't know what that is. Never heard of it. What's a correct form of engaging a set and breaking rapport using your method? What's the correct form of engaging a set? The correct form of engaging a set is to engage them and create impact. If you're just having mundane conversations with people, then you're not gonna win them over. You're just gonna be the next guy that's trying to talk to them. So you have to come in a little bit bigger than life, a little bit bigger than you are, and you have to present your best self. Go in, first thing you do, you open. That's for the only sake in showing them that you're different. Then you hit them with a stimulator, which shows them that you're fun. And then you lock in and share a story, which allows you to demonstrate that you've been won over by the group to other people in the venue, but then also hold court to that group and sharing a story that hopefully keeps them on the edge of their seat. So if you do that, you're gonna be already in a place where you're gonna be engaging your sets. Your sets are gonna hook a lot more. Then, if you are able to implement and add in a few negs and a few disqualifiers, then you're gonna start to build the tension, because you're breaking rapport. You're not seeking commonalities or seeking alignment, right? With disqualifiers and negs and IODs. So you have to balance that out so that you can build that tension and then get that into attraction when you set up your core evolutionary attraction switch stories. So that's the way you do it. And that's the simple game plan for anyone that's out there and listening. That's what you do. Let's see here. What do you know about stealth attraction? Never heard of it. What do you do about uncomfortable silence? What do I do about uncomfortable silence? I do two things. I don't let it happen because I have material ready and lined up to keep things going. I have sound bites that I can say about certain things in the environment to keep things going. Or second, I will put uncomfortable silence in there myself. If I do it before she does, it allows her to then re-engage the interaction and keep it going. So that's what I would do. Hey Arvin, what's going on, buddy? How do you go about transitioning out of opening into DHV or into creating attraction? You do it phase by phase, right? Naturally, if once you have it all lined up, like after a boot camp, once it's all lined up, you're gonna be doing all of it at once. You're gonna be demonstrating that you're a high value guy on the opener. However, you have to take it phase by phase. Don't skip the phases, stick to the M3 model, it's brilliant. Just stick it to from A1 to A3 is your general social interaction at any given venue. So just stick to that. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. There's no proper way to transition. You just do. You just get into it. That reminds me. You guys ever been to the Grand Canyon? That's it. Now we're talking about the Grand Canyon. When before we were answering a question. You just do it. Is it okay to open sets without pre-prepared openers? Yes, it's okay to open sets without pre-prepared openers. If the girls are of quality and you're opening sets however way you're opening and it's hooking and the girls are into you and they're chasing you, yeah, do whatever you're doing. You're not doing anything wrong. I can't say that there's anything wrong there. But if you're just winging it and you're coming off like a regular guy, I can tell you from experience that on certain types of girls, it just won't work. So, yeah, something to throw into the mental box. No risk, no reward. Let's see here. What's your stimulator? My stimulator go-to is either Best Friends Test or Magic Carpet Ride. Those two are solid stimulators that just pump a lot of fun emotions into your set right off the bat. So I would advise learning those. Post questions on here, Jimmy. There's no sense in DMing me right now because I have the lives up, so I won't see them. DM me throughout the week, that's fine, but right now, on here. Where are you reading the questions from? I'm reading the questions from the comments that the guys are sending and also from a window that I have up from previous questions that people have asked me throughout the week. Let's see here. What's the correct form? Okay, we did that one. Hey, Luigi, what's going on? Let's see here. What is the Magic Carpet Ride? Magic Carpet Ride routine goes as such. You know what I'd love to do with you? I would love to take you home, and in my house, I have this magic carpet, just like in Aladdin, and we can get it out of the closet, we'll roll it out, we'll hop on it, and we'll walk all over town, flying over town, and then we'll go to Africa and we'll chase kangaroos. And they don't even have kangaroos in Africa, but in my world, they do. You ready? End of routine. Raul, what's going on? Raul's asking advice for newbies. Yes, solid game plan. That's the advice for newbies. Get a solid game plan. Stick to skill set development phase for a good portion from here on out. Don't worry about the girl. Fall in love with the phases, not the girl. And you'll be at a good starting point than most people that don't have that advice. That's what I would say. At what point do you say that? Well, you would say that after the opener. The magic carpet routine would go after the opener. Remember, you have to open, then you have to hit him with something fun, and then you have to captivate. So whatever your opener is, magic carpet ride, DHV story. Appreciate it, bro. One love. Awesome. Best program you'd recommend? By what do you mean best? What kind of program? The neg doesn't necessarily have to go, after the opener or after a stimulator or after a captivator. The neg comes out as soon as you possibly have an opening to neg. The sooner the better. The sooner you can disqualify yourself, the better you're going to be in a position to be able to talk a lot more and get a lot more time. Any good openers? Yes, I would recommend you take a look at the Colgate Thursday routine post that I put up every Thursday. Every Thursday I do a routine. Whether it's an old school one or something new or one of mine, I will be posting every Thursday a new routine for you guys to adapt and add into your stack. So I would highly recommend you check the last few posts on here, and you'll find those. The one that I recommend on boot camps are Brad Pitt and Angelina, Who Lies More, men or women, and Is Kissing Cheating? Those three are fucking solid, man. You can open the world with those three openers. So get good at them. What if a neg backfires and you lose the set? If a neg backfires, then you didn't deliver it properly. The neg is not intended to create bad feelings in people. The result of a neg is laughter. That's what you should be getting from your negs. And you shouldn't be waiting on it either. You shouldn't be throwing negs and waiting for responses. You should throw the neg and keep talking. It's better that way. And don't go into it thinking that the neg is not gonna work. Just say the neg, make it, it should be almost school grade, boyish fun and charm behind it. Not, trying to get a bit of power back because now we know a neg and it's supposed to put people in their place and whatnot. It's supposed to create laughter. It's supposed to pump good emotions in people and show the group that you're not the agenda guy because you're willing to break rapport. Let's see here. Let's see another question. What do you do if you ask a girl out and she's busy on that day? Well, there's nothing really that you can do. What are you going to do? You're going to propose a grander time to try to get her to cancel her plans or whatever? No, you can't do that. Are you going to be reactive and, just get mad and do all that? Can't do that either. So what's the best advice? The best advice is to adapt a no big deal mentality around that. If she can't make it, it's not a big deal. Ideally, you should have a few options or have in your mind that you're in skill set development so that you go out and meet more people so that you're not just relying on one girl to do something with. So if you're playing it right and if you're getting out of the house and you're putting the time in, you should have more options than just one girl to do something with. With that said, if, for example, let's say that you ask her out. If she says, oh, I'm busy on that day, however, we can do it on the next day or the day before. Well, that's her making a bit more investment and a bit more effort to try to still see you, even though she can't make it on that day. Now, that tells you a lot more than her just saying, oh, no, I'm busy. I don't like to get into that whole I'm busy kind of thing. See, I play solid game enough to where girls want to see me. She's compelled enough and interested enough and attracted enough to want to see me. She knows that it's in her best interest to see me as well with her. So with me, I worry about what I'm doing on the front end when I meet her so that it carries over after we've split ways, and that will dictate how much effort she's going to be making to see me after that. So I would advise you playing solid game and getting girls to fall in love with you along the way, and then they're going to want to see you a lot more often. Let's see here. Hey, Bernice. Oh, Bernice. I miss Bernice. Bernice is cool. Let's see here. Alan. If you're a very close friend and you want her to see you as a possible sexual partner, how do you establish less comfort and more attraction? If you're a very close friend and you want... Okay, I'm assuming you're asking if she's a very close friend and you want her as to see you as a possible sexual partner, how do you establish less comfort and more attraction? Well, the best advice, and it's not an advice that most guys like to hear, but if you're pretty much in the friend zone with the girl that you like, then you need to disappear and remove yourself from her life a bit so that you're able to work on certain things and have certain experiences that will then allow you to come back as a better version of what you are right now. And that could be a potential person that she wants to align with. Because the truth is, if she was into you as a sexual partner right now, that would have already happened naturally because she would be giving you a lot more interest for that to play out. If it's just right now friendship, then that means that she sees you, the current person that you are, is just not a person that she wants to align with sexually. So best to disappear, reinvent yourself, and come back in a way more interesting way. And then you're gonna be at a lot better chance at being able to compel her into finding you attractive, when right now it just wasn't in the cards. And it won't be unless something changes. Let's see here. Jimmy's asking a inner game question. How do you motivate yourself when the subconscious mind is convinced there's nothing beyond mediocrity and boredom? How to convince the subconscious that there's more to life? Go out there and experience it, and you'll see that it's there. See, most guys that are bored with, gaming, or bored with what they're doing, is because they're just not doing the top level of it. If you got to see some of the girls and how beautiful they are and how cool they are and just how into you they can possibly be, it would motivate you every time to get out of the house and meet people. Now, if you're just getting mediocre results along the way, then that becomes your reality. And after a while, you're gonna solidify that reality. And it's gonna become a thing that you base off a standard that you live like and that you live off of, is that. So you don't wanna let yourself get in that deep. So you have to make it a point to get better experiences in your life. And if we're talking game-wise, that comes with higher value sets. If you're not opening sets with guys in it, then you're most likely not meeting the highest value people in the venue, because both girls and guys like to hang with each other when they're high value. It's just a thing that high value people do. They got girls around. And the girls have guys around. It's just a thing. So I would recommend that you make a decision to get better experiences under your belt. And when you see those sets that really matter and can make the difference in sending you off to mediocrity or sending you off to something better, you take the better route. As they say, that the enemy of the good, of the best, is the good. So don't just get good at the game, get great at it, and you'll see the benefits of it. Let's see here. Dylan is asking, what peacock items are good to use these days apart from having good dressing style? The same items that have always conveyed sexuality, and that's rings and bracelets and necklaces and hats and scarves. Anything that is ornamental, that doesn't serve a practical function, is deemed more cool. So grab a few items and experiment with just not putting items together and going out, but creating an identity with the items and also having a story attached to those items. Everybody thinks that the power in peacocking comes from just going out and buying loud clothes and putting it on, and it's not. It's what does it convey in the identity of who you are, and then also if someone was to give you a compliment on any one of those items, or the look, or the whole package, whatever it is, what is the follow-up to that? Is it just a thank you? Because if it's a thank you, then you've just wasted the opportunity to engage with someone that gave you essentially an IOI. Now, if you have stories to back up all the stuff that you're wearing, and you can say, oh, I got this here, and I got this here, I made this, blah, 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 whatever it is, it creates more conversational points for you to go off of. So be mindful of that as you're peacocking. It's not just the clothes and not just the ornaments and the accessories. It's everything that comes with you being able to use those things in field. Best way to isolate the target is to win the friends over. Win the friends over, and when you isolate the target, things will be better. The friends won't get in the way because they'll just have seen that, oh, they like each other. In fact, in your sets, you should have that soundbite come out at a certain point. It is a waypoint where you say, me and your friend, we like each other. Are you guys okay with that? And their response should be, yeah, absolutely. And nothing else shy of that, because you've won the friends over, you've negged the target enough to disarm the friends, and then you were able to convey a awesome personality so that things got checked off on your character traits, and then the girl finds you attractive because of it, and the friends find you cool, and yeah, they'd like for you and the friend to align, because that means that if you guys align, they have access to you as well, and you've been nothing but a great time. So that's how you isolate the target. Could you tell us some openers? Yes, Jose, I will give you a few openers. I'll give you the Brad Pitt and Angelina opener. Brad Pitt and Angelina. Hey guys, who would you rather hang out with one night? Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie? Oh, come on, you're just saying that. See, I would say Brad Pitt. Why? Cigars. I know he drinks whiskey, and we get to have Clooney talk. I've been dying for some Clooney talk. Angelina's gonna try to adopt some kids and build a school and finance a hospital, and I'm not just in that headspace right now, you know? It's Friday night. Done. Routine over. Whether they say Brad Pitt or not, you always go with Brad Pitt. And if they look at you funny when you say Brad Pitt, that's a perfect time to neg. You can say, I didn't say it was like that. Oh, you're one of those. Get your mind out of the gutter. You can neg right there. So that's a great little opener. It's fun, and it just opens really easily because it's not the same mundane stuff that guys are coming in and saying. Another opener would be who lies more, men or women? And that one goes as such. Hey guys, who lies more, men or women? Oh, you're just saying that because you're a girl. See, I think that men, we lie all the fucking time. That is just what we do. We can't help it. It's in our DNA. But women, you guys tell a lot bigger lies. Am I right? End of routine. Now, remember that in the opener, it is a false opinion opener. You're not asking them for an actual opinion. In fact, you are giving them your own. So you're masquerading as, hey guys, let me get your opinion on this, but really you shut that down really quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna be milking the opener and you're gonna get into a conversation about it. And then at the end of it, you haven't conveyed any personality traits at all, so that it buys you more time to go into your stimulator. So make sure that you have your openers ready to rock, but then that you move on to something else that's fun, so that you don't get caught up in the opener. How long are you in the game? I've been in the game for about 15 years now. I got into it when I was 14. I met Mystery and Matador and Love Drop when I was 15 for the first time. And then by 16, I was coaching for Venusian Arts. So 15 years. I can say that I've been gaming longer than I have not been gaming. And that's pretty cool. Could you tell us any good negs? What's Wilkinson? Wilkinson, you're getting a free Skype session out of me through this Colgate Live, and I love it. You're making use of the time and asking questions, which it's all about. So I'll give you the answer. Yes, good negs. Good negs. I personally don't like negs that put girls down. I don't like saying things that girls can't change. It'd be the same thing as if you guys, went out with me and, you guys wore a horrible shirt and I didn't say anything while we were at the house and you could have changed. But then as soon as we're about to walk in the venue, I go, dude, by the way, that shirt sucks, man. You should have changed that shirt. You ready to go in? You're gonna feel a certain type of way because you can't do anything about it. So I don't like to do anything like that. And I've learned that the hard way through just trying different negs and seeing how people feel about them. So these days, again, a long time into this, I've realized that the best negs are the ones that are the most vague. If they are just very vague negs, they can sort of not put you in a certain hole where people find that you're being judgmental or that you're being confrontational or that you're being an asshole. It just kind of puts it in this vague, we didn't get along sort of sense, but it's not a full commitment to, like certain negs are, oh, I know this dress, some people might say it's a slutty dress, but on you it totally works. Like, I don't like negs like that. Can they work? Sure. On certain types of girls, okay, sure. But is it a thing that I would teach? Absolutely not. Because I teach what works. I don't teach what works for me. I don't teach what works on, 1 out of 30 girls. I teach what works consistently, systematically. So one of my favorite negs, and this is a mystery neg, is you are off your rocker. That is a great neg. Because what does that really mean? It means nothing. It means you're a little off, and that's fine. It doesn't say anything bad. Another one that I like is, oh, you're one of those. That's my favorite go-to neg is, oh, you're one of those. This one over here. All these little negs are going to be a lot better at just creating a bit more tension and disqualifying yourself as trying to be a potential suitor and build rapport and commonalities and all these things. And it's just going to create a little bit of that pang that's needed to break that tension, to break that awkwardness that you're talking to this group and you might be after one of the girls in there. So those are a few negs that I would recommend. How has the game changed since 2005, and why do most people on Reddit seduction subreddit hate on mystery method? Everybody hates on mystery method because it's what works. And everybody's just trying to water it down in their own respective light and call it something else and focus on entities that they have gotten to learn because of mystery method. Like, you guys have to remember, like, this is the guy that started all of this. So everybody that's gotten good at this has followed M3 to some extent. And everybody along the way kind of just disacknowledges it and doesn't give a shit about it because now they're onto this thing. And this is the problem with the community, is that it comes with a lot of ego, and guys think that, their method is this, that, and the other. But really, it's like, it's not Mystery's method, it's the girl's method. I always tell him he picked a horrible name because, it's not his method of, oh, this is what, Mystery does. This is what the girl requires you to do in order to find you attractive and in order for courtship to go well. So it just works. So as far as the game plan of what to do, yeah, we fine-tuned it. Yes, we've added a lot of components. We've fast-tracked a lot of the process of it throughout the years, but the game plan still stays the same. Now, as far as the landscape of like what it means to go out and do all that has changed as well. Like people, just the venues itself. Now everybody's locked into tables. Nobody's really standing around anymore. It's more showmanship, and especially like Vegas, LA, clubs are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get acts in and DJs and all these things. So there's a lot of investment on there. So it's changed how the perception aspect, the perceived perspective aspect has plays a role in all of that. So that has affected it. The girls have also adapted a bit more because of technology and just social media in general and all of the things that come from that. That has played a role in it. So it's an entire different landscape. And I think that when I look at all the people that are complaining about mystery method, it usually comes from an inability to adapt and evolve for the current times and making it work on the landscape that we're in right now. So yeah, if you read the mystery method today and you take it from perspective today, is it perfect? No, but is it the best game plan you can possibly get? Absolutely. It is damn right near perfect. So I would say for anybody that would disagree is that show me what you do and I will pretty much draw a line to a certain concept that's been covered in the mystery method. And that's just what it is. That's what it is for most guys that are out there and teaching and talking about games. Like, show me what you're doing. I guarantee you when we get down to it and we peel away all the layers, it's just there. Even guys on like YouTube and Facebook that always do posts and all that stuff, they're just saying the same stuff. That's why I'm happy to be so close to the guy, and I always give credit when credit is due. It's his stuff. I don't try to call it, the Colgate method and the M4 or M5 or M2 method and all this nonsense. Like, no, it just is what it is. Be thankful that it's there. It's archived. It's available. It's accessible, and you can learn from it. And as long as you adapt it and you follow it and you get good at it, you'll get results. And that's just that. Let's see here. I've also been so fucking intrigued by this. How does game apply to high school girls? Because I'm currently a senior in high school. I don't know. I don't game high school girls. That's just something that you have to figure out at your stage on your own. I've gamed high school girls in the past when I was in high school, and my game was developing along that time. So for me right now, my game is not designed for that landscape. So I have nothing that I could possibly help you with that. Let's see here. A client told me that the girls that go out on VDay are desperate and single. How true is that, especially in a major city like New York City? I hate when people generalize things like that. Like, how the fuck do you know? Have you opened 30 sets on VDay for 5 years and asked them? If not, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just making generalizations and solidifying truths based on your experiences and what you've seen and what people have told you, and you're regurgitating what you've heard, and it's just nonsense. I would say get out of the house and open some sets and find out for yourself, Steve. That's your best bet. Mystery is the best. Damn fucking straight he is. How old was your oldest client, and is it ever too late to learn game despite one's age? No. Oldest client I have ever had was a 78-year-old guy in LA. Never forget it. The stories that have come from that guy are memorable for the rest of my life. And to be fair, he did the best out of the 6 guys that was on that boot camp as far as routines, delivery, all of it. So it's never too late to start at all. And that's the good thing about being a guy, is that as long as you have some social skills, you're always able to impact people and create moments that will yield better results as far as alignments go if you get good at the aspects of it. I'm 40 years old and I'm learning the game about 2 years. Do you think I'm too old to start the game? I'm recently divorced but too enthusiastic about learning this amazing way. Hopefully the last answer answered that. If you're not too late at 78, definitely not too late at 40. 40 is a perfect age, honestly. Between 30 and 40, where you've gotten the kid out of you a bit and you're not as immature. You're still immature because you're a fucking dude, and all dudes are a bit immature, but you got the bulk of the nonsense out of you, and now you're a man and you can make decisions as an adult. That's a great time to be. So 30 to 40, 45, around that zone, if you can commit a solid year into learning this stuff, skill set development, after that year, you're going to be going out and having a lot more fun, and things can still happen, for sure, absolutely. I think the one on this side has frozen, so I'm just letting it be. It froze like 30 minutes ago. And we also have to end soon because I see I have a 7-minute countdown before this goes away. So yeah, let's answer a few more questions and then we're gonna get out of here. Colgate, how do you engage MILFs? Like, they always say to me that I'm too young. Sometimes I embrace it, and others I lie to increase my age, but they still say I'm too young. If they're saying you're too young, that means your behavior is too young. See, personally, me, I've always enjoyed older girls. I got into the game very young, so gaming older girls was always an advantage. That's why I can't really give advice on how to game younger girls. I don't know. Like, too young is just not my thing. So as far as older girls, I got some insight for that. older women want excitement and they want fun and they want a guy that is going to lead a bit. So if you're not doing any of these little elements, then you're not going to be compelling enough for them to see that you're at the level of what their expectation is at this point. If they're saying that you're too young, it means that your behavior is too young. Your mannerisms, your stories, your topics, all these things is not compelling to a woman of that age because she's heard all the little nonsense stuff that guys have told her, you know, from the period that she started going out to now. There's been a lot. So she's gotten used to it and she wants something a bit more elevated and a bit sophisticated and mature. So implement more of that and you'll have a bit more success in engaging with older women, for sure. Things that work in clubs, do they work in cafes and street? Yes, however, there are differences in it. There are nuances. So yes, the game plan doesn't change much from clubs to daytime or streets or anything like that, but it's how you approach it. It's not harder, it's just a different game plan. It's just a different way of approaching the game plan. But yes, absolutely. You can use, Who Lies More, Men or Women. You can use Brad Pitt or Angelina. You can use all these openers. You can use these negs, the stimulators, all these things. You can use them in the daytime. Just make sure that your delivery matches the energy that is needed for the daytime and you're not coming off too high energy like you would have to at a nightclub or a venue. I will cover the Freezeout question on the next call because that one is a deeper question that needs a better answer than the 4 minutes that is allowed. So I will write it down here. How do you use a Freezeout? And we will answer it next Wednesday. Absolutely, I got you on that. I have a problem with my wings. They are horrible and affect my game. I live in a small city and didn't find any PUAs here. Go out alone. Go out alone. If you got shitty wings, leave them at home. Go out with your friends. If they're asshole wings and they're shitty wings, you can go out with them on one night and don't make it a game night. Go out with the boys. But if you're going out for skill set development and to get, practice, leave them home. Go out alone. Your default line should be, yeah, my friends, they have what you guys call a 9 to 5. I don't live in that reality, so I'm here for one more drink and then I'm off to the next place. Done. Solved. Do you prefer bars or clubs seen to talk to females? I prefer places I can be heard. I don't like nightclubs. I don't like really loud venues unless I have girls with me. It doesn't make sense for me to go to a loud venue and game girls and do all that and try to be heard and fight music that is literally designed to not allow me to talk if I don't have girls with me. I can't get that close. So I go to places that I can be heard. I go to, restaurants. I go to bars. I go to lounges. I go to events every often. I make sure I get an event in. I go see friends that are in social gatherings with other people. I do it all just to make sure that I'm getting it in there. So yeah, the club scene is the last scene I want to be at or meet a girl in, to be honest. However, it gives me the best practice ground to get the most sets in under my belt for the time that I'm out. I can go out in the daytime and spend 3 hours trying to game in the day, but I'll open 4 sets as opposed to at night for 3 hours, I can open 12 sets. So do that. This guy's name is Love Drop SVP. Does the book How to Play the Game by Neil Strauss actually work? Yeah, it's a good newbie mission. Is that the newbie mission one? Because if so, it's a good starting point. Sure. I would just rather open sets. You can do all that stuff, but you're not going to learn as much as if you just open the sets. Which dance do you prefer to learn, tango or salsa? Neither. I got my 2-step mastered. That's all I need. Everybody wants to get real fancy. I'm just gonna do this right here. That's all I need. Solid gold advice. Thank you. Christian, what's up, buddy? Hope all is well. What's your favorite city to game in and why? Oh, city to game in. For right now, it's Vegas. Vegas is great. Vegas, there are bountiful amounts of opportunities here. So Vegas, yeah. I used to think it was LA. I was a diehard advocate for LA. Well, LA, no mas. Vegas is the best place. Escalation tips, opening a bunch, but need to progress. Play solid game. Make sure you add some Kino moves and you'll be good as far as escalation. Don't try to sexualize things in your game. That shouldn't be something that you're mindful of. How do I sexualize and escalate? Things will naturally progress if you just have the solid game plan and you're building a Kino ladder, you're building compliance, and you're testing for compliance, you're building your value. All these things will move things along a lot better than you trying to be mindful of how do I escalate. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sure we lost this half of people because it doesn't show any new comments for 30 minutes and it doesn't even show me anything here. But hopefully they're still tuned in. If they can hear me, awesome. Hope you guys got a lot of value off of this. If so, let me know right now in the comments. Send some things to let me know that this was useful. As always, Wednesdays, I will be doing these, so make sure you bring your questions. Already we have a few that we need to tackle next week, so tune in for that. Check out AskColgate.com, article coming out on interest. Should be out on Friday. On indicators of interest and how to understand them, how to see them in field, which ones you can rely on, which ones you can't, what are false indicators of interest, what is preemptive interest and disinterest. There's a bunch of things to talk about. So that article is going to be awesome. It should have came out Monday, but I realized in just sending releasing a very generalized article that it could be expanded. So I've added more to it and I just have to proofread it right now. So Friday it should be all ready to go. But make sure you check out that article. Make sure that you do the weekly missions as well. If you're not doing those and you're asking me for help, I'm less inclined to try to help you because those do help your game. You know, just the autoresponders alone on Tuesdays that you guys have to figure out will get you prepared for when those questions come. Because if you're going out, you're going to get those questions asked. So I'm helping you guys along and build momentum. And if you do those missions, they're going to help you a lot. So that's it. I can see a bunch of thumbs up and a bunch of okays and all that stuff. So that's awesome. Thanks for taking the time to respond, Colgate. So much value. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. There we go. I got a 2-minute counter. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Make sure you guys get out and game. If you have any questions, send them my way. I will try to answer them as best I can throughout the week. And if not, Colgate Live is what it's there for. So take care. Get out. Later, guys.